So you said that you studied cheese. So, expound a little bit on that because you have a pretty amazing cheese background.
Well, I had the good fortune after I left culinary school. I took a couple classes with Max McCalman, who is probably the country's foremost fromager. And I did my externship from school, and I ended at Picheline restaurant in New York City, which has one of the greatest cheese selections. And the deal I made with the chef was that I would work in the kitchen for him for free if I could also spend 2 nights a week working front of the house, which for those of you who don't know means not in the kitchen at a restaurant, learning about cheese and wine pairings with Max. And it was an amazing experience, and that led me to go to France, and I worked the harvest in Burgundy, and I learned to make cheese in Italy, and it's just kind of snowballed from there. I think once you drink the magic potion, as I like to call it,
fermented grape juice?
Yes. The world of food and wine becomes something you can't get away from. It becomes part of you, and I think you pretty much have the same feeling. I mean, I know that every time we talk, that your passion for what people are doing in the world of food and wine comes through every single time.
It's so important, and it's like the funny thing is that I started my food and wine hobby when I looked at the credit card bills about 15 years ago actually, and what my husband and I were spending on eating out, and I'm like, this is ludicrous, it's ridiculous. And I said, if I'm going to cook at home, it's got to be as good as what I'm eating out. And that's really what started it. And then I just got into food and wine pairings, and the more I got into it, the more interesting people I met. And nobody becomes a chef for the money.
Hell no.
Nobody gets into this industry because of the money. It's because of a passion and a love, and they love to share. I mean, do you ever go to a barbecue and people are like, oh my God, I just made the best barbecue sauce, you got to taste this, and I handed it out to you. And you ever go and you actually get to talk to a chef at a restaurant, and you talk to them about, what got them into food? It's, some will say, well, I couldn't find a job, or some will say, it was a way to get myself through college, and then I figured out that I really enjoyed it. And then when you ask them, what is it about food? What is it that brought you there? Mm-hmm. That's really what kind of gets me going. It's like you get to hear, it's like, oh, my grandmother, would used to make pasta with me, or would teach me how to make the best cookies ever, and I've never been able to replicate that. And those are memories, and that's what the comfort food is about. Comfort food is really big right now. A lot of places around right now are talking about comfort food, and it's because it takes you back to your childhood and happier memories. And I think that for me is really what I get when I'm hanging out with other food lovers.
And I think when you piggyback on that, what makes people stay in this business is the love of sharing. And the love of community, and
well done.
So many chefs, you don't make a lot of money in this business, but every great chef that you meet is involved in some sort of charity, and they help each other out with their charities, and they give back to their community continually. And it's amazing to me how you can work 12-hour days in a restaurant and still find time to donate your time to feed other people and to do things for charity, particularly charities that involve feeding people, feeding the hungry, children. It blows me away every single time, the extraordinary generosity that you find in the world of food and wine.
I couldn't agree with you more. Even when we were talking with Ryan earlier, and he was like, the farm is about community. It's about what is it that we can do to help bring our community together more, and that's really what it is. When when he was talking about going to the European way of eating, and where they go to the market every day and they shop seasonally because that's what is available to them. And I think that food connects us, and we're the crazy Americans who only take 15 minutes to eat, where you go to any other culture or most cultures and they're sitting down for an hour, and it's almost like the family dinner has been lost. And I really think that it would be great if we could get back to that. And I know you've said when you were growing up, you would sit down with your other 4 brothers and sisters as a family. You guys would have family dinners, and we would do the same. And I'm the youngest of 4, and I remember those dinners. And you remember the insults being, shot back and forth between the brothers and the sister, and no, not at all. And being hung out a window, and oh, sorry, that was you, not me.
but it had nothing to do with food.
That's right. But now you laugh over it, and you laugh over it over a glass of wine, you know. And I got to meet your brother, and you know what a great opportunity to be able to meet families, and it's what brings you together.